Hello everybody, Michelle from Michelle's Craft Corner here. Today I'm going to show you how to make this lovely celebration card. Now this is a shaker style card. You can see the confetti in there kind of moves loose. Isn't that fun? So this could be for any special occasion. Now this one is made using some of the new product from the Occasions catalog, including this new fun Balloon Adventures stamp set, and also the coordinating balloon pop-up Thinlit dies. We're using this guy today. So these are available separately, you can purchase, or you can buy them together, bundle and save. They're only $53 together. And right now we've got Celebration, so if you did purchase both of these, if you did purchase both of these, you would get a free item from the Celebration catalog. Okay. So also besides these sets, today we're also going to be using, it's off to the side, this fun metallic sequins, which I'll take the lid off so you can see. So this is the metallic sequins assortment. Sorry, my post-it notes are not behaving today. Only $5. You can tell I've already used a good bit of this. It's normally quite fuller, but it's got the gold, the silver, the black, and the white, so it coordinates really well with these colors in this card. We're also going to be using some of Stampin' Up's Gold Glimmer paper. Now this is just a scrap. It comes in 12 by 12 sheets and 2 sheets for $5. So we're just doing a small balloon, so a little can go a long way in this one. And we're also using the gold foil paper as well. Now this also comes in the 12 by 12 sheets, but we're just using a small scrap today as well. So it's $4 for 2 sheets of that. So that's for this other balloon. And then for the fun striped pattern in the background, my pile of things all over. Okay, we're using a piece from the Neutral Designer Series paper pack. Now it has it has 40 sheets and different neutral colors, you know, black, Sahara Sand, Crumb Cake, but it also has this nice gold and a silver with the stripes. And this is all double-sided, wonderful, good quality Designer Series paper. Okay. And then, of course, for the balloons, we're going to be using the Balloon Punch. And if you don't have the Balloon Punch, you can also, you know, since you have the Thinlit dies, you could also use either of the balloons from this set as well, if you'd rather do that. I just personally really liked the solid look of the balloons, but you could really do that as well. Personal preference on that. Okay. See, and then also you're gonna need a piece of from the window sheets for that clear plastic, and these are in 12 by 12 sheets as well. I'd show you, but it's kind of hard to see. There we go. Okay, there's a piece. So 2 sheets, 12 by 12, only $5. So there we go, nice and clear. Okay. So just a few products we're using today. It seems like a lot, but this is actually not super complicated. And then the 2 of the other things we're going to be doing is some embossing today. I don't know if you can tell, but the Let's Celebrate is actually gold embossed. So we're using the gold embossing powder. So a little bit goes a long way. That little can just lasts quite a while. And then also, don't want to forget our foam adhesive strips. These are so perfect for shaker cards and slider cards because they're these nice thin strips that you can wrap and curve around things. So, love using these. These are fabulous. Okay, and then the ink color, which you could emboss this balloon if you want, or just stamp an extra, punch out an extra gold or heart, but I decided to stamp that one, and for that I used the Sahara Sand. Alright, I think I've covered all the basic products, so let's get down to sizes and get creating. So, we're going to start with our black card base. Now this is the basic black, just our standard card base. And then we're also going to take a piece of, hold on, Whisper White and cut that in 3.5 by 5.25. And we're also going to cut our piece of that Designer Series paper in the same size. So both of these are 3.5 by 5.25. All right. Oh, and that's the Whisper White. And then same thing with our window sheet. That is also going to be at 3.5 by 5 on that one, just a little smaller. Okay, guys, got all those measurements? All right, we'll move all my Post-it notes. Okay, so you're going to take your 3.5 by 5.25 piece, that washi tape away, and you're going to run it through your Big Shot using this fun framelit from that set. Now you'll notice it's the measurements are a little shorter than the full length of the piece because a standard card it's going to be a little long, so we're going to go ahead and cut it shorter before running it through. Now trick, because I know if you're flipping this way you can't see where the edge of this die is, and you want to be sure that you have enough to put your strip around. So a trick, let's see if I can show it. All right, is if you flip it upside down, hold it up to a light or just kind of up where you can see it, you can kind of line it up to where you have a good edge on the top and bottom before you run it through, okay? Hopefully that made sense. Okay, so run it through using generally the magnetic plate is the easiest. Then you're going to get this fun shape, which you can do a ton of stuff with just this alone. It's just a fun shape. Okay. And then we're going to take our balloon punch there. Now this balloon size coordinates perfectly with the larger of the two balloons. So we're just going to take that. All right, I've got Post-it notes everywhere. And our gold foil and glimmer paper, we're just going to slide it in. If you flip it upside down, you can see exactly where you're lining it up. It's going to save you on paper. Punch that out. So there's our gold. Do the same thing with the glimmer. So slide it in just where you can see it. There we go. And that. So we've got our two glittery balloons going on right there. So put the punch away. So we've got those. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and stamp my background balloon with the Sahara Sand. And this is with the striped balloon from the Balloon Adventure stamp set. You could also do the polka dot, or if you want to go solid, you could do that too. So lots of options there. But I do recommend stamping it on there before gluing the other ones down, because then it just kind of has that behind look to it. So tap it on there. And because it's photopolymer, I've got my Pierce Matte. So we're just going to line it up, stamp it down, give it a second, and peel it right off. There we go. Lovely. We're done with that. Now for the Let's Celebrate, I know I told you I gold embossed the words, but I actually stamped and cut out this shape. Now this is another shape that's in that same set. And so I stamped it using, you know, this curved piece and just a scrap. Now you can, if you want, you could stamp it straight on there, but I found that sometimes, you know, lining up can be tricky, and after cutting all of that out, I'd rather play it safe than accidentally misstep, or misstamp, excuse me. So we've got that right there. So then you can either cut it out now or emboss now. Either way works. I'm gonna move my foam mat out of the way. We're good on that. Okay. So for the embossing, stick those where I can get to them. Okay. Post-it notes everywhere. All right, so for the embossing, we're going to do our gold embossing powder and some good old Versamark. Love this stuff. So I'm also going to give it a quick wipe with my Emboss Buddy. This just makes sure that the embossing powder doesn't cling to any extra places when you emboss it. So pretty simple. So take that off, give it a little tap. Don't do it upside down. There we go. Okay. Just gonna stamp it right there. What's nice about the photopolymer is you can see right through and line it right up, which is so nice. Peel it off. Okay, and I know you can't see it yet, but once I add the gold emboss powder, you should be able to. So just like that. I just like to do it right over the dish. It's a little easier, so you can kind of see that. Sure we got that good. Okay. Move this out of the way and grab the heat gun. Okay. So I really do enjoy Stampin' Up's heat gun. It's a really good one. Now another trick, depending on what piece of, or how big the thing you're embossing is, I mean, this thing can get quite hot, so you do want to mind your fingers, but I actually just like to use my bone folder or just something that will handle heat and just kind of hold it down, so that way it doesn't slide all over when you're heating it. And your fingers just don't have to get that close. See up close, see that's got that nice golden sheen. You can always check and make sure that it's good and embossed, that there's no gritty looking areas before moving on. Okay, so next thing I'm going to go ahead and cut it out using my paper snip. So just kind of just nice and easy right around. Now I'm going to glue it straight on to my framelit piece, but of course if you want to, you could add some dimension behind it and make it pop a little. There's also in this set another stamp that has kind of that ribbon effect, so you could also stamp it using that as well if you want to have just kind of a different look using the same product. Okay. So there we go, we've got our Let's Celebrate. So let's go ahead and glue these down. Got our liquid glue real quick. And if you prefer, you know, snail or something else, it works just as well. I'll line that up. Put that right on there. We'll go ahead and do a dot for our balloons. Yep, there they are. One on one side and one on the other. So you guys can see that even if you didn't want to do a shaker style card, you could just very easily do it flat like that. It would also be a very lovely card. Or if you want to just go solid black. So lots of options with this set. Fold my card in half. Alright, so the next thing is we're going to attach our window sheet to the back. Now you can do liquid glue, but I actually personally prefer using the snail for this, just because you don't have to wait for anything to dry. So you don't have to get the whole area, but just make sure to hit some of the bigger spots, like these balloons. Sorry if I'm shaking the camera a little bit here. Okay, that should be good. Nope, where'd it go? There it is. We're just going to line it right on top. Press it down. Now, if you accidentally go over the edge, which I did a little bit on this side, I don't know if you can tell. Maybe if I do like that. Nope, you can't really tell. But if you go a little over the edge, you can just take your paper snips and just trim it if you need to. This plastic for the window sheets, it's just very easy to work with and cut, so it's not super thick. Okay, there we go. So we've got our clear plastic in there. Next step is we're going to grab our foam adhesive strips. We're just going to take and peel one off. Okay. And just start from any corner, and you want to just fold it all around that outer edge. You don't want to lay it too close to that edge, otherwise you're going to see it on the card. Now, when you're laying your dimensional strips down, be sure to press on the corners really good, just to be sure that it's sitting flat. I've noticed some people, if they do too tight of a corner, it'll lift up. So just nice and snug. And you just line up the next one, either side by side or right smushed against it. There we go. Just keep going. Just curve. So pretty simple here. And if you mess up that plastic, you can just kind of lift it a little bit, so not too hard to work with. Oh, go straighten that out. Make sure to press my corners. Okay, I've got just a little bit more I needed because the first piece I started with wasn't a full strip. So you can actually very easily cut it to whatever size you need, depending on your shaker. Look at there. All right. Now, with this particular confetti, you don't really need to run your embossing buddy over it. Oh, excuse me. But with the finer confetti, it is very useful to run it over so it doesn't cling to the plastic. But this one, because it's a thicker sequence mix, you don't necessarily need to do that. So next thing, I'm just going to take it and just kind of pinch and fill in that well. And you want enough that you'll see it when it shakes, but not so much that it's higher than your dimensional. You don't want like a giant pile, because then when you put the back strip on, it'll get kind of stuck. So, sticking to my fingers. There we go. Oh. That's probably pretty good. Okay, close that back up. All right, kind of shake it out a little. All right, and then we're going to take our backings off of our dimensionals. I recommend don't take the backings off till after you put the glitter down, because sometimes, or glitter or sequence, because sometimes as you're dipping it and pouring it, it will want to stick to the dimensionals, and then it's hard to get the backing down. Just gently peel that off. Okay, so we're going to take our background piece, we'll flip it over, and just line it up on there. Same thing, if you accidentally go over the edge, you can trim it, just like we did the window sheet. We're just going to lay that on there. Oh, mind the fingers. And then before you flip it, I recommend just taking your finger and just pressing all along that seam, just to make sure that it's got a good seal. This is especially important with the finer glitters and sequins. The thicker doesn't tend to get caught as easily, but it just makes sure it has a good seal. So then you can check it, you flip it over and shake it about and see. Isn't that pretty awesome? Look at that. Yeah, this one's not quite as full as the other one. Okay, so now we've got our basic shaker element, and now we're just going to glue it straight onto our card base. I'll just take the snail here. And line it up and stick it down. There you have it. We've got our basic, fun, celebratory shaker card. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and you're going to go make a lot more. You can also cut a piece of 5 by 3 1/4, just white for the inside, because black can be a hard color to write a note on. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. I hope to catch you in the next video.